son. He might be distracting a little bit. So thank you for the introduction. So I would not actually kind of introduce myself much further because you already heard that. So today, as I would like to share the experience of what we have been going through, working with the farmers and trying to convince the farmers and communities to convert into organic. Yesterday, you might have heard Brian a little bit about the pig as well. That part of our new initiative that we're trying to promote to the farmers. Because for our goal, we're not really just promoting organic rice farming, but we're actually promoting organic farming in which the farmers can actually grow the rice organically and also can make use of their land after the rice planting as well, after the rice season. So that actually is something that they can turn into income more. I think everybody knows Thailand is one of the biggest rice exporters, right? And almost half of our land in Thailand is actually farmland, and about 40% of that is actually rice cultivation. But when we talk about organic scene in Thailand, how much is actually producing organically? 0.16%, around that. Why is that? Why it's so little when everybody's hearing about the trend of organic is growing really big. The demand is there. The growth of organic consumption is growing everywhere. Why is that? I think our government also think about this opportunity. They saw it, and they're also trying to increase the organic farmland in Thailand. They started the incentive program last year by encouraging farmers to convert, rice farmer especially, to convert into organic, giving out like 2,000 baht subsidies per rai up to 15 rai. Like rai is the measurement of the land in Thailand. And then on the second year, if you pass, you get 3,000 baht per rai. And the third year is 4,000 baht. That seems to be like a lot of money. But is it really going to be happening? Is it a dream, or it can actually come true? I think for the government, everything is possible because for them, it's more about quantity, not really quality. I was actually very amazing witnessing the inspection last year with our farmer group. Imagine we had like 65 farmers trying to do organic for the first year, and because the government came in to inspect it, they could finish 65 farmers in one day. I was like, wow, how amazing is that? And then afterwards, we kind of like went to inspect our farmers again. About 50% of that failed the organic certification. So we kind of like submit the name to the government again and say, okay, these people, we would not actually recommend to pass the program. But for them, the numbers is matter. But for us, in reality, to work with the farmers to convince them was actually like the challenges. What is the big one? Personal mindset. This is like the nutcase one that like always giving us like pull our heads out. Like my mom is the first one I have to fight with. I spent like 6 years fighting with her to trying to prove the point of that what you're trying to do organic is could bring you better result. She was always like every single day, or even she heard the news on the TV, like showing some cases of like organic communities. She's like, no ways, they would not be able to do it without putting any chemical fertilizer in it. No way. So it took us 6 years to actually show her. Imagine just my mom. It's already like, so difficult. And other people in our community, we have to fight with like old generation of farmers that they're so stubborn, really stubborn. And it's like, you are like younger than me. How could you know better than us? And like still dealing with there are so many issues about personal mindset and like ego as well, jealousies, and so many, which I couldn't really like tell you all within 15 minutes today. But besides those people that really like difficult to change the mindset, some of them that are willing to try something new, to change something, they still have what we found, and I think this is pretty much like we see as a common problem among the farmers in Thailand, because they thought that to convert into organic, it could be really, really risky, especially in the rice farming sector, because especially in our area, they could grow rice only once a year, and the land holding is very small already. So if they convert to organic, that means like their whole life of income is in risk, because after like the Green Revolution 30, 40 years ago, they always been like absorbing and consuming all the knowledge about fertilizer. To grow it better, you have to put fertilizer in. So all these 30, 40 years, just fertilizer, which means if they stop putting fertilizer in right away, they're probably not going to get the yield as they used to get. So it's very difficult to get them to change. And beside the high perceived risk here, another one that I also would like to mention is also beside the fertilizer, it's about the pesticide that they use as well, even though they know that it's dangerous. But for them, it's like that's something to kind of make sure that they could get like a good crop, a good yield. But some of them also like, you know, it's bad. Why are you still using it? Well, I'm not using it myself. I'm hiring somebody else to do it for me. It's like, that's not really the answer that we were expecting. But this is also part of like the mindset that we're dealing with. Another thing that we've seen as a common problem is the limited know-how of organic farming. To do organic farming, okay, they're not really sure how to start, what to do. And if we actually look around us, like all the magazines and on the internet, all the knowledge about growing stuff is always conventional knowledge. It's like, okay, if you would like to grow watermelon, for example, you have to grow it this way. When it's grow up to how many inches, you put this kind of fertilizer in. Or when you see the pest, you put this kind of pesticide in. But it's very, very limited to find the knowledge that actually like, okay, you make this microbe and this formula and applied it on this day and on this day. And if you find this kind of pest, maybe you use this formula instead. So we don't really have that kind of organic knowledge for the people. So for them to go and learn growing something new, it's quite difficult. Market access and income. This is one of the key things for them to decide whether they would try to go organically or not. Because we often hear the farmers asking when we go talk to them, if we grow it, who's going to buy it? At what price? And who's going to guarantee it that we're going to be able to sell this product? So this is something that for us, we're trying hard to make sure that like we're creating the market for them and also trying to support what they produce. That's why for Right Tong, we're also like trying to use our farmland as the experimental plot where we try different techniques and things, and then trying to work on using the ingredients and creating different products, creating higher value. And at the end, we can get the farmers to grow all the ingredients that we can use in the products. That is like trying to create a guarantee market for them in a way. Because they also get hurt a lot by like the government programs that trying to promote them to do this and that, learn this and that, but at the end, they can't sell the product. And we can't deny that these days, you have to buy everything. Nothing is free. So they need to make sure that they produce and at the end it can turn to be an income back for them. Another thing, this is also a big thing that we learn along the way, is social pressure. Because even someone would like to try to grow organically, but they still have to get the agreement from their husband or their wife or from their family. And this year we also get the case where like our member would like to grow organically. They tried everything, but then her husband-in-law I'm sorry, her father-in-law. Her father-in-law kind of like feel like, oh, your field did look very good. So I helped and apply the fertilizer in your field for you. So she's like, I was joining the organic certification process. So that means she just fell immediately, which is so sad. This is another thing also like as the younger farmers coming back, it's also something that like the older generation really trying to push out because they think it's something that it's hard work. It's still part of the society that giving the pressure of the value of being farmer in the not a very kind of like high rank in the society. So it's very difficult. And the organic standard also not really making anything easier for anybody who would like to try growing it organically. There's so many standards and so many certifications. And when you want to go sell it to one market, you need to apply for another one. Go to another market, you need to get another certification. And it's all cost involved as well. So small farmers, impossible to pay for all these costs. And this is something that like not making organic production easier. But who also can have like a big influence to try kind of change the game for us, definitely food eaters or consumers. Because if the consumers starting to demand more, obviously the farmers would feel like, okay, there's a market, there's people who would like to buy it and willing to pay for it. But of course, for me, I also think like, I forget about like the romantic view already. No way that we can convert or convince all the farmers to do organic. I don't think it's possible. But for us, we just feel like we're just trying to kind of get as many farmers as possible and trying to make sure that we can have the market to support those farmers that they're trying to do things like properly. As long as we can trying to aim towards the goal of having the balance between the healthy and not healthy, good and bad, I think that at least it's can extend the kind of good life of the society and of the world further as well. And I'm really glad that we can be part of this FoodForum. At least we can starting this dialogue, and because to move forward to get like as many organic farmers as possible, it's really a long game, a long-term game. It's many years ahead of us, but at least I'm so glad that we starting today. Thank you so much.